Good morning, I'm Jessica with Electra. Cheers with the coffee. We're all on screens, not just the social media, but through meetings. They have not gone away. And I think, I've been doing this my entire career. Literally my first job out of grad school, I was in Virginia. My first job was in New York City. We did everything online. So I'm used to it. And I've picked up a few tricks over the years that I think will help make you look and feel a little more confident when you are having to do really important things not in person, which I know is pretty crazy. So I'm about to kind of show you my tips. It's all sort of blended together while I was getting ready this morning. But the last thing I'll say is take all of your products. I have my powder, my lipstick in here, anything else that's going to make you feel good. Sometimes I'll do a little refreshing spray just to keep you going through the day, because it's all about looking and feeling confident. You have to project that more through a screen even than when you're in person. So do what you have to do. Follow these tips, which are basically make any color on your face, so your eyes, your cheeks, your lips, any color brighter and more opaque so that they show up better. You also want to embrace powder. You want to take away any shine because you want the attention to be exactly where you want it to be. And then keep your little kit right next to you so that you can touch up. We're watching Mad Men, hence my outfit. And we just watched the episode where Peggy does a presentation. She has lipstick all over her teeth. We don't want that to be you. So keep your kit with you, freshen up, take 2 minutes between each meeting, and have a great day. I hope you enjoy these tips. So the first thing you have to think about is light, meaning the actual, like I have a ring light right now. When you're outside and it's hot, what do they tell you to do? Wear light clothing because it reflects the light, where dark clothing is going to absorb it. Same thing applies to being on screen. If you want things to be reflected, you're going to want to use lighter colors. If you want things to be absorbed, you're going to use darker. So I always suggest going brighter and more opaque with any color you put on your face, your eyes, your lips, your cheeks. And that really applies to the eyes, because I see a lot of people, they'll do a shade maybe like this, that's like very close to their skin color, and they don't get the payout they want. And it's kind of scary to go into the really darker colors, especially when you look in the mirror and you see yourself one way. What I really suggest you do is trying on all of your makeup, maybe take a weekend afternoon, follow these tips, and then just pull open your computer or your webcam's screen and see what you look like in that lighting on screen, because it's always very different. And then you can begin to make adjustments. So the first thing I like to do is start with the eyes. I'm using, this is the Natasha Denona Camel palette. It's amazing. These colors are very pigmented. They work really well with my skin tone. It's a pretty natural palette. There's a little shimmer here, but this is my most often used palette. If I could only have one for the rest of my life, it would be this one. And I'm starting with this it's the lightest, other than the highlight shade, it's the lightest of these 3 brown shades. And I'm simply following my eye socket. You don't even have to look. You can feel where that is. And then bringing it down onto the eye. Going right in with the dark shade and a thinner brush. This largely depends on your eye shape. If you have a heavier lid and you kind of have a lot of skin right here, you're gonna wanna put your shadow right around your lash line. If you have a lot of space here like me and you wanna shrink that to make the eyeball bigger, I like to just focus on the outer corner with the darker shade. And remember, this is gonna absorb light, it's gonna pull this area back, and we're gonna be able to see the eyes and make them look brighter. And finally, with the lightest shade here and just a smaller brush, I like to go in that inner corner. And again, if you have a heavier lid, it just depends. You want to bring the light shade anywhere you can see skin. If you can't see skin, that's totally fine. Just keep this area nice and bright, and just a little tiny bit under the brow. This can bring the brow down. We want it to lift, so keep this light shade very, very subtle. Now, if you have, like me, put the darker color on the outer corner, you can go ahead and bring this into the center of the eye. You see how much wider that looks and how much more awake? And then just make sure to kind of blend it in with your finger. And then finally, with a clean brush, you can just go over any edges you want to fluff out. Next is just apply some eyeliner and mascara. I know folks don't love eyeliner. If you don't, take that darkest shade again on a pencil brush and run it along the base of your lashes. Even if you put the darker shade along the lash line with your fluffy brush, the smaller brush is going to intensify the color, so go ahead and do it again. So I curled my eyelashes and applying mascara now, I would say if you only have time to do one thing with your eyes, I would put a little bit of dark shadow just at the base of your lashes, smudge that in, and then apply a couple coats of mascara. That'll help open up your eyes. And so now our eyes are nice and open. This might look like a lot of makeup, and it is, but again, just try it before you get on screen, and I promise they'll look a little brighter. My next tip is to layer your products. If you're doing cream products and then a powder product, again, you're gonna achieve that opacity to help make the colors brighter and make them stand out more. So I just used the cream blush, and now I'm going over with a very soft blush. And I like to do this before bronzer. For bronzer, I don't really do anything other than this is my normal shade of bronzer, and this is what I use when I'm on screen. It's darker, so it shows up better. And I just apply it with a big fluffy brush, and I start at the back of the face and push it forward. And sort of blend together with the blush. And you want to make sure that everything is super well blended, because if it is not, it will show up on screen as like these crazy lines. So always check your makeup in the screen before you start your meetings for the day. When it comes to brows, do them. This is something you don't want to skip, and you don't have to go crazy. I like filling in little individual hairs with a powder, but if you're in a rush, you can get these kind of chunkier pencils like this and just whoop, fill them in real quick. You can also, there's a lot of permanent solutions if you don't want to deal with the daily grind of filling in your brows, but I do like to use a tiny little brush and a little bit of powder just to give my eyes shape, then brush through, make sure all of the product is distributed and everything is laying the way I want it to, and then I'll put some gel on there. Because for reference, this is just a little too much for me for every day, but it's perfect for on screen. So normally, I'll just show you, this is NARS Turkish Delight. Do you see how much lighter this gets? In person, this is where I'm comfortable, but on screen, this looks like a hot mess. So go ahead and try to stay more matte, skip the gloss, and brighter and more opaque. My final tip is to embrace powder. We want to take down all that shine right there. You see that? That's going to make this whole area, look how much flatter that is. And it's just, we don't want to draw attention to areas we don't want to draw attention to, and vice versa. If something is we really like our eyes, our mouths, that's where people need to focus. That's where we want all the attention to go. Also, this area of the forehead, just embrace the powder. Even if you don't normally wear it, like I don't, tip of the nose, this really does make a big difference. And also, I skip the highlighter. You can if you want, but you're not often doing this like situation where you're getting this great angle from the screen camera anyway. But even if you are, if you use like a nice kind of glowy foundation, you don't have to put powder right there, and it'll inherently look like you have a highlighter on. Also, this is the RCMA no color powder. You get it from beautylish.com. Cruelty-free, vegan, made in the USA, paraben-free. This entire jar costs $14, and I've used it for so long. I just fluffed it today, and it looks like I have a full jar. So I can't recommend this enough. It's a great little everyday powder. It lasts, and you'll be able to powder yourself up for your meetings and call it a day. And this is everything pulled together. This is a lot of makeup for a typical day, but on screen, it'll translate beautifully.